Okay, Rohan Patel, comic book movie. Hi, Kat. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I love your work. You worked on some really great shows, Modern Family, and your episodes on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia always kill me. And because I was a Patriots fan, so we lost that Super Bowl when the Eagles
Oh,
won.
I'm Oh my god, I love that episode. That was so wonderfully fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, when you're directing something like this with a performer like Tatiana, who we know from Orphan Black can play so many different kinds of roles, um, what was it just like directing this performer that can just be so wholly unique and original?
Well, casting Tatiana was the most important part of making this series work. And when, before we had her, I had a lot of fears about if the show was going to work. Once we had her, I knew that it was going to work because she is an actor of such skill and nuance. And she's also really funny. Working with her is amazing. It's everything you'd hope it would be. She really sees things on a macro level, but also listens and reacts in a very emotional, vulnerable way.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I love her. And so like this is the first show since WandaVision to get 9 episodes. So like what is that like from your standpoint where you're like breaking down the season? Because I think you direct the first four and then you pass off the baton and then you're back for the last few. So how'd you break down the season?
Well, I executive produced it, so I was a part of the whole season. And one thing that we were really grateful for was the fact that it was never prescribed, you have to be 8 episodes or you have to be 12 episodes. We really let the story dictate how many episodes we have. And so the 9 comes from an organic, arc of the character and the journey that she's on.
And okay, so like, and then the bigger challenge because you're like an expert like comedy director, but this time you're also incorporating because there does seem like there's something else going on that we have yet to learn about. So like, what's the more tricky challenge, like nailing the humor in the MCU or just nailing the action beats?
Well, it's really a combination of both. Directing humor means that you need to let people play and improvise and give them space to be loose. But making a big visual effects heavy, action packed, stunt driven show means you have to do a lot of preparation and have a certain rigidity. And so it was about balancing those two things. I mean, Sunny is such a great example of a show where you really put 3 cameras on fantastic performers and let them loose. And so I
Yeah.
would always try to find those moments, when that would work. And then, you have to honor the MCU and have big shots and really lean into the action sometimes. So it was just taking it on a case by case basis.
Gotcha. And then so like along with She-Hulk, we also get some new scenes with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, and like he's on his own little journey. And so, what kind of discussions did you have with Mark prior to filming? Is like, where did he want to take this character next?
Mark is an incredible open actor. And even though he'd been playing Hulk for a decade, he came understanding that this was a new genre and a new exploration of the character. And all of our MCU characters like Wong and Emil Blonsky and Smart Hulk had to adjust to the fact that this is different in tone. It really, there's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of comedy, and they all leaned into it. And, I like to say that life is not a genre. Life can be funny and it can be tragic. And much like this show, you have moments of humor and then you have moments of pathos.
And so, like we've seen him in the trailer, so I think I could ask. But it's like when we Daredevil is in the show, but we have yet to meet him. And like I don't want any spoilers, but like what will he mean to Jennifer's journey when we do eventually see him in these 9 episodes?
Well, I can't speak specifically to how he fits into her journey, but I will say that, we had the same experience with him that we did with the other MCU actors, which is that it's definitely, especially with Daredevil, a much lighter tone than he's ever been involved with before. And he adapted to that quite quickly. And we get to see a new side of Daredevil, I think.
Oh, I can't wait. And so like you have like she's been through a lot, like on Orphan Black, she did a lot, but like this time you're also like she's also doing these fourth wall breaks, which are very we haven't seen in the MCU, and we only time we've seen it is with Deadpool. So like what was that kind of just trying to balancing that with her workload and just trying to get that the best performance possible? It's like, hey, does this work? Does this not work? with Tatiana.
Well, She-Hulk is the original fourth wall breaker. Back in
Hmm.
1980, she was breaking the
Yeah.
fourth wall. And so that concept was always baked into the series. And in terms of Tatiana's performance, it was very much about figuring out who is she talking to and giving her a relationship with that camera, which I can't reveal now, but the
Hmm.
specificity of her connection is part of what makes her performance so compelling.
Awesome. And so like there are a lot of courtroom scenes which are a lot of fun. And so like was there any characters that were off limits even, or were there characters that like they're not maybe in season one that you maybe want to do in a season two or a season three or what so on?
I mean, what's so exciting about this premise is that we are in a superhuman law firm. So it is completely organic that any character from the MCU who needs legal help might pass through those doors. The possibilities are infinite.
So, okay. Your show is so good. And then like I just wanted to ask, because you have a Ginger and Josh Segura he's great. He's really funny too. So like, what was it like casting her friends? They were like, I need these two or three actors, just like, and then creating that sort of friendship on screen that makes it even that more relatable to the audience.
Well, Jennifer is a little bit of the straight man. She wants her life a certain way and she's always trying to maintain order. So I knew it was really important to populate the show with straight comedic actors. I had worked with Ginger Gonzaga on a half-hour show before. I had worked with Jamila Jamil. She was in my film Marry Me. I had worked with Renee Elise Goldsberry on Girls Five Eva. And there's, Patty Guggenheim, who plays Madison, I've worked with on 3 shows. Donnie Blaze is an actor who also happens to be my husband. And so I really wanted to populate the show with people who I knew were funny. And I knew had a certain depth in their acting, but also could land a joke.
Awesome. Well, this has been so great. I'm a big fan of your husband as well. He's very funny. But this is so great. I can't wait to see the rest of the season. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great interview.
Awesome. See you.